Back here, first things first, we're talking Tom Brady. Tom Brady, winner of every award there is, every record, stat, accolade, and 7 Lombardi trophies to boot. The guy's done everything. So when Giselle asked Tom after this year's Super Bowl win, when he asked her, hey, what more do you have to prove? It got us thinking. Brandon, is Giselle right that Brady has nothing left to prove after winning his 7th Super Bowl?
No, this is an interesting conversation. It's deep. You know, there's so many layers to it when we start studying people when in a high-performance space. I truly believe Tom Brady loves greatness more than he loves football. I think that Tom Brady is just searching for the next thing like many of us do. Tom Brady, you think he loves waking up at 5 a.m., 8 months out of the year to be the first to the facility? Do you really think Tom Brady likes avocado ice cream? Tom, Haagen-Dazs vanilla is better, okay? Nope. Caramel, the cone, that's better than that. You think he really likes avocado ice cream? He's doing that because he has
on the lips, lifetime on the hips.
To accomplish the things that he's trying to accomplish. Now, do you think Tom Brady likes to get hit by JPP and Shaq Barrett? No, absolutely not. Do you think Tom Brady wants to watch grown men in tights run around a football field while his family is having Netflix night because he has to study? Absolutely not. Look, it's a drug. It's the chase to greatness. The thing that I live with right now, and now that my career is over, is I had 970 receptions. My goal was to go over 1,000. I truly thought at the end of my career, if I had 2 more decent years, I could finish in the top 5 in every receiving category outside of touchdowns. And then I snapped my ankle. And that's the thing that I miss. I don't miss waking up at 5 in the morning. I don't miss getting hit by Ray Lewis. I don't miss that. I miss that feeling that you get, that rush that you get when you say, man, I wanted 100 catches this year and I got 100 catches. I wanted to beat the Patriots and we beat the Patriots in Foxborough. That's the thing I miss, and I think that's what keeps Tom going. So does he have anything left to prove? Absolutely, to himself. You know, now Tom's going to have to look at himself one day and say, when's enough enough?
So Brandon, that's interesting that your goals were about accomplishments, where I feel like Brady's goals are about insults. Insults might be the wrong word, but when he feels wrong, and if you look through his career, he's been motivated by when he's felt wronged, and it's worked for him. These aren't just random things. So when Julian Edelman would go up to him and yell at him that he's too old, that motivated him. And last year, he named his production company 199 Productions because he was the 199th player. So we know that has motivated him. We know in Tampa Bay, he's like, oh, you guys don't think I can do it without Bill Belichick? And he never said it as much, but we knew that was a motivation. Nick, I think it's interesting. I don't know if the I'm old is still going to hit like it did last year or like it did with the Patriots.
1 second.
We think it could, but go ahead, Brandon.
Well, to that point, no, man, Tom Brady is 43 years old. He's a grown man. Come on. That's just strategy. That's just his a method that players use to motivate themselves. There was one offseason, Nick, where I took but it's not one of those things where it's like he gets super mad. They worked themselves up into that. You really think he cares what somebody says right now? No, he's using that to get to the next thing. That's all he's doing. There was one offseason, Nick, where I literally wrote down every bad thing that people said about me in the media. I wrote down everything that people said. Well, Brandon Marshall won't be a Hall of Famer. Brandon Marshall never made it to the playoffs. Brandon Marshall didn't do this. And I put it on the wall in the weight room. So every day I walked in there, when I didn't want to lift weights, when I didn't want to run those 100-yard gassers, I looked at it and I said, all right, I remember that. Now I'm going to keep going. That's what you use that stuff for, is to go when you don't want to.
I think that, as far as what you and Wild are saying, I do think he's a little different than you in this regard. I think that there is part of him that still, it seems like, is not over what happened at Michigan and then the 199th pick stuff. And then it was only reinforced by the way Belichick coached him. So I do think he has, it's something I have, so I think a lot of people have it. There's a bit of the fraud complex that you're always fighting against, even though for him, he's the greatest football player ever by a factor of 5. There is no argument there. The only thing he's chasing is LeBron for the greatest American team sport athlete. Put that little quote on Twitter. That'll do well. But here's the reality, Wilds. Here's the part that actually matters. And I think it's something Brandon, Kevin, and Jenna can all agree with, and myself as well. Our wives know best. Listen to her, man. She wants what's best for you. She knows. How many? Hey, Brandon.
Zero
Brandon,
ulterior
how
motives
many of your best decisions?
Zero.
How many of your best decisions have come from Mishi's mouth? Probably most of them. Wilds. What about Libby? Libby has been guiding you on this path forever. Jenna, you and Steph, you would be a mess. I would not only would you guys not know me, I would have fallen off the face of the earth a decade ago without my wife. Our wives lead us to where we need to go. Giselle is telling you something, Tommy, so I know right now you're working out. Listen to her, man. She's got your best interests at heart. You got ring number 7. Ring number 8 doesn't even sound appealing. 7's a better number. It's lucky. She wants you to walk. You should walk, Tom. Right. Listen to Giselle. Giselle knows what's best,
Brandon,
Wilds, you should listen to her.
Can I ask you a real question, Brandon? And I know Nick once dunked a tennis ball, but you are the elite athlete on the squad. Tom Brady tweeted out
I would say
a bunch
Jenna's
of like
the elite
social media.
There
Okay, yeah,
you go, smart man.
Jenna.
Right there.
Yeah, Tom Brady tweeted out just like a bunch of people doubting him, and he used this as motivation. Do you think there's enough? And then everyone turned. Everyone's like, you were right, Tom Brady. We were wrong. Is there enough doubt in the ecosystem for Tom Brady to still be motivated to prove people wrong?
Odell Beckham Jr., what's his brand? What made Odell? He had the catch, was it Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, whatever it was, and he had the gold hair and he did the dances. He played that up for years until he had 13 million followers and he was an icon around the globe. Tom Brady's brand, what's his brand? I'm the tough guy. I'm it. So you sit down as a player and say, who am I? What am I selling? Every time I get in front of the camera, what do I want people to perceive me as? And Tom Brady is that. So his team, Tom Brady ain't sitting down putting this together, telling his team do this. They sat down 10 years ago and he said, guys, this is how we're going to orchestrate my brand. When I retire, I want to move into this space. And that's all this is. This is just who Tom is naturally, but this has evolved into a business. So all this stuff that he's putting out there is just to push the narrative of what he's trying to sell.
Listen to your wife, Tom. She knows best. Listen to her.